It's the Infinite Podcast. Go tell your friends. It's the Infinite Podcast. My God, it never ends. It's the Infinite Podcast with Rob and Court the
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Project Infinite Podcast, the podcast covering the infinite and ever-expanding multiverse of fandom for movies, comics, TV shows, video games. We got you covered. I'm Rob. I'm here, as always, with Court. Court, this is a part 2, I guess, to our 2025 preview, where we talked about movies that we were looking forward to in 2025.
We made it big time. We're doing part 2s now.
Yeah, we've done a part 2 before.
But not like this.
Not like this. So this week we are going to talk about TV shows. And man, see, the reason we split this up into 2 parts is because the movie side is pretty loaded, but the TV side is especially loaded this year. And we're going to talk about so many of those shows that we're looking forward to across a wide spectrum of genres and everything. But before that, we do have some news, starting with some unfortunate news. That is film, TV icon David Lynch passed away at the age of 78. Best known for Twin Peaks, best known for Dune, 1984, The Elephant Man, just a legendary career.
It's insane because you could just go down. You could be like, for Twin Peaks, for Mulholland Drive, for Eraserhead, for Dune, for Blue Velvet. Like, that's just the type of filmmaker you're talking about. You mean, you want to talk innovation in the 70s that he was getting after in the 70s and 80s, and obviously, you know, on a broad spectrum thinking, like, do you know how great of a filmmaker you need to be to usurp you making that Dune movie and to still, you know, carve out the career that you did? I mean, he's so, what is enigmatic, the word I'm looking for, but I love how tough and rugged he is, and I loved his love for the game. I mean, he's somebody that's he loved filmmaking, he loved the craft of filmmaking. Like, I love that video where the PA's telling him we got to speed up the scene. He's like, why do we need to speed up the scene? Like, that's David Lynch for you. Like, he was so mysterious, but he's such like a cool customer when it comes to this film thing. So rest in peace. That one was a tough loss. That one was like, it just came out of nowhere. It was just out of nowhere. I mean, you want to talk about minds that do this. He's one of the best. I mean, he literally carved ways to think about different ways of making movies. So rest in peace. And this one was a sad one.
Yeah. The mark of someone that's truly kind of made it in their field is when they get like an adjective, right? Like when you say something is Lynchian, whether it's a film, you know, whatever the case is, you know, it invokes him and that kind of surrealism that he brought to his films and to his directing and everything that he did, really. A true artist, musician, filmmaker.
I mean, what was David Lynch? He was a painter before he was a filmmaker, and he talked about it too. He said you don't need to go to film school. He said, I was a painter before I did this. Like, I think, what was he, a truck? I don't know if it was him that was the truck driver before this, but he's like, I didn't have to go to film school. I didn't need to do any of that. Just pick up a camera and start shooting stuff. So you want to talk about inspirations. David Lynch is definitely on that list. Yeah.
78 years old. Long life, long career, acclaimed career. Yeah, man, just one of those times. It's a bummer for sure, but also a celebration of just a remarkable life and career.
There's something poetic about the last appearance that he made in a film. Like, obviously, he's a director who's always behind. Was The Fabelmans, where he played Tom Ford, and he kind of gave the torch to Steven Spielberg. There's something poetic about it being him that played Tom Ford to do it. I just thought about that as well too, but. Definitely rest in peace. It sucked. Like, I heard that and I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I know he was working on something for Netflix at the time too, so.
Yeah. Definitely a bummer. So as always, tough to transition out of these things, but we're going to, and starting with some breaking news that broke a little while ago today, and that is Sean Levy's Star Wars movie has its lead, potentially.
Who could it be? Give me some actors. Who could it be?
You could give me any name. Any name.
Is it John David Washington?
Nope.
Is it Jessica Alba?
No. You're getting closer though, weirdly enough.
What do you mean by that?
Ryan Gosling is apparently in talks, finalizing stages of a deal with Star Wars, and he's going to be the lead in this Sean Levy Star Wars movie.
It's crazy. We've been talking about it for about like 2 hours now. Every time we talk about it, it keeps getting crazier and crazier in my head that Ryan Gosling would even entertain. But listen, there's 3 factors that I'm going to bring up. 1, it's money. Let's not beat around the bush. Sean Levy just came off a $1 billion project with Marvel, and he saw what star power can help him do in that. Number 2, it's the star power in the room, and that's Ryan Gosling. I mean, you want to talk about the movie stars. It's like Glenn Powell was joking around about it. He said, I feel humbled that you guys think I'm a movie star, but Ryan Gosling's an actual real life, like, he is an absolute movie star. And 3, I think it's Sean Levy's kind of directorial charisma is really attracting people to want to do things. Which I guess all 3 of them work in tandem because you don't get that without getting a $1 billion movie under your belt for people to be like, hey, maybe I should work with that guy. But what's the approach? What do you do? Because I have 2 schools of thought.
Well, the easy, I guess, answer when you get Ryan Gosling is that he's going to be some type of charming, roguish type character.
It's a Han Solo variant.
Yeah.
But, like, is that too easy?
Sure, probably. But it's also probably the safest option. Yeah,
because it's the whole Top Gun Maverick thing. It's like, don't overcomplicate it. Like, sometimes it's simple.
And Star Wars, historically in film, has not... I mean, obviously, Han Solo was in a huge part of the original trilogy, of course. But they've not yet made a movie about that type of character. He's always like kind of like a supplemental character to the Jedi...
Right.
Character.
And he's like, a lot of times he's the audience surrogate, like, this makes no sense, man, but I'm here because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, and I think, if anything, like on the small screen, quote unquote, and or proved that you can make a quality Star Wars project about that type of character.
Sure.
So I mean that's probably the easiest answer.
Yep.
Is to do that.
Now, number 2 is the obvious. This is about the space wizards. This is about the space wizards, so you make him a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my concern is that you don't is that Ryan Gosling's bag to do that, to play but then the good part would be you have to get a little innovative of and obviously I feel like this movie's going to be fun, and they're probably, if this movie hits, it gets the Star Wars fandom back on track to some degree. It's going to be all right, well, Sean Levy, A, has the keys to the castle, and B, let him do whatever the heck he wants. Let him have the most fun that he wants. So I'm so intrigued to the fact of do you just make him a Jedi, but make it a little different? But how does this fit in? Is this, I hope this takes place after Rise of Skywalker, because we both talked about that. It's time.
It's time to move on.
It's time to move on. Let's get after everything. If you want to bring Rey back for this movie, so be it. But let's get after it. Let's move on. You bring Winston. I had an idea, and now I just thought of the actor that you could put in there to do this. Now, if you do the option A, and that's just make him a charismatic, gunslinging, ship flying, crap talking, whimsical, witty, heart of gold character, which Ryan Gosling would absolutely be phenomenal. I still don't think you could do this movie without a Jedi. It's the thing. It's why the Jedi series for gaming is working so well. It's because it's a main Jedi that's it's good to see. You get Winston Duke to play the Jedi, because I feel he can be you get your Fall Guy crew back together, you let him play the Jedi, and let him be sageous and wise and old, and not old but wise, and his grounding force, and he's nah, dude, let's go have some fun in this galaxy.
Yeah, so apparently this movie is being developed as a standalone project.
Interesting.
Which again makes me think that they are going to kind of Han Solo him.
Sure.
Like I said, I think that's probably just the safest option. And we kind of talked off air about Star Wars, especially on the film side, really needing kind of a win.
They need a win that they can prolong. They need a win that's just going to work.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what did it. It's let's get the director of Deadpool Wolverine, and let's get the world's male movie star. Let's put the 2 of those things together, because we already burned ourselves using Pedro. No, they didn't burn themselves, but we already used Pedro Pascal, so get the second guy.
Right.
I still can't believe he might and will do this. This is insane.
I know. Yeah. Apparently, like I said, he's in final talk. So once you get to that stage, I feel like once it kind of gets out,
it's like that 99% to 1%.
It's like gonna happen. Yeah. The only thing in recent memory that I can think of that kind of fell through was that original Fantastic Four casting that pretty much all came through. Besides the Matt Smith thing.
Who was it? It
was Matt Smith, Vanessa Kirby,
Rory.
Joseph Quinn. It was this cast.
Yeah.
Just Matt Smith instead of Pedro Pascal,
Right.
and that was like apparently a done deal. So. One of these days, we'll find out what happened with Matt Smith.
Pedro Pascal was available. That's what happened to
probably.
Matt Smith.
But also, again, to my point, could have just made Matt Smith Doctor Doom.
Well, they still could make Matt Smith Doctor Doom.
I think he would be great. I guess we'll just stay in the Star Wars realm just for right now. I'm moving some things around. That is the character of Baylon Skoll will be coming back in Ahsoka Season 2, but he will be recast, obviously, with the passing of Ray Stevenson, and will be recast from a good friend of Ray Stevenson, Rory McCann, who people will know probably most popularly as the Hound in Game of Thrones. Had a very, very minor role in Gladiator 2. Yep. I think as far as, obviously, he and Ray Stevenson were good friends. And as far as character type, I think he fits the role of Baylon Skoll very, very well.
Sure. Yeah, it sucks. It's like, it's a whole thing, like, we talk everything for, like, let's just say for Harrison Ford to play, to play the Red Hulk and to play Thaddeus Ross, but it's like, it sucks because William Hurt was supposed to be doing this. Like, this should have been William Hurt's thing to do. So, it's the same thing. This was supposed to be Ray Stevenson's things to do.
And a great character.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that Baylon Skoll character was one of the single best things. It was something different we had seen out of the Sith. We hadn't seen Sith like that before. I was intrigued out of the gate by them as well, too. He had this stoicism about him, which made me question as well, too, which I was not expecting, especially from a dark side user. So, I mean, but you get that out of Ray Stevenson's performance. So, but this is still a good recast as well, too.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm just excited that at least the character's memory gets to live on.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of like one of the, not concerns, but it was kind of going to be like a bummer if we were going to do another season of Ahsoka and that character wasn't going to return.
Yep.
Because it is a really well-written character and a really, obviously, a tremendously performed character. So I'm excited to see the character live on. I think Rory McCann is an excellent, excellent actor. Obviously, I loved his work as the Hound in Game of Thrones. So, looking forward to what he can bring to another kind of stoic, but has a air of deepness to him, kind of like the Hound had. So, I'm excited. Definitely pumped for that. And just some quick little video game corner, just some highlights from the video game world. Sony has canceled a plethora of live service games that they have been, some were in deep development. Bluepoint was working on a God of War live service game. I know a Horizon Zero Dawn MMO got canceled. And I mean, it's a shame in one respect that they wasted so much time, energy, resources, and money. But also, I hope this is kind of like a wake-up call of, like, we don't need everything to be a live service game.
Well, I mean, two things are kind of usurping that. Funny enough, it's Marvel Rivals is kind of shaking everybody awake.
Yeah,
I don't know when
we got some Marvel Rivals stuff to talk about.
Right.
But yeah,
like I don't know when the Marvel Rivals came into the room, but it definitely helped solidify something because they're proving like you don't need to pay to have fun. Like that's not what gaming should be. Like if you need to pay for the game a billion, trillion, gazillion %, you need to pay for the game. But beyond that, like we just were joking about the Guardians of the Galaxy game, like in comparison to the Avengers game, like why do I want to pay to get to up like. I'm not paying to play a game to be better. Like, that just takes away everything. Like, if you're gonna whoop my butt in a game, whoop my butt by, by the content of your character, not by the color of your skin.
Yeah.
Literally, the skin's on the, like, I don't want any upgrades because of this. Like, and Marvel Rivals is understanding that, and then that's half the battle. The other half of the battle is the type of gaming world that we've moved into, and that's narrative gaming. Narrative gaming is kind of like the point now. It's like if you're not narrative gaming or you're not a super fun like keep chipping away game like Astrobot, like Marvel Rivals, like then that's kind of where the future holds. Like if you look at the cast for Intergalactic, like that's like those are actual actors going into this trying to do this. So there's no place for live service, and like I dare I say good?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what a God of War live service game looks like.
Exactly.
Like, what's the appeal of God of War? It's Kratos.
Yes.
It's Kratos and his story. Like, I don't care to play as a random NPC type character and play around in the God of War world. Like, what brings me to God of War is playing as Kratos and following his story.
Yep.
Same thing with Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, I don't have an interest in playing some random person in the Horizon universe. Like, Aloy's story is enough. So, I mean, I hope this is kind of, like you said, like kind of a wake-up call, that not everything needs to be live service.
Yeah.
And like you said, Marvel Rivals, it's the question that I've always been asking myself with all these live service games, and it's why aren't people just doing what Fortnite does?
Yes.
And Marvel Rivals just is doing that. They're just like, we're just going to give you the whole game for free. We're going to give you all the characters for free. And if you want to buy some skins, you want to buy a battle pass, go right ahead. But you're not missing out on anything by not doing that.
No.
And the proof is in the pudding that Marvel Rivals is one of the most successful games of 2025. Obviously, it's the first month, but I kept hearing after this game released that like people are going to be like, oh, people are going to be sick of it. People are going to no, because the game is fun for one.
It's referential.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I've seen just kind of like anecdotes on Twitter the last month of like comics are selling. Marvel comics are selling because of Marvel Rivals. Like people are getting into they're like, you know, they find their main character that they play as, and they're like, I kind of want to learn more about Moon Knight, or I want to, and that goes to, you know, to my point I made last episode that like I'm glad that they included the roster that they did, like Moon Knight, Psylocke, Magic, you know, like, and then the characters, you know, obviously there's leaks and stuff about characters, you know, potentially coming, like characters like Emma Frost, Cyclops, you know, I've seen some crazy inclusions that are coming, you know, so and now, you know, coming off the news that they're putting the Sony Insomniac Spider-Man costume in the game, I think next week on the 30th, I think you're going to start seeing that a lot more. Yeah. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of the Marvel, like I think they're doing a tie-in with AMC and Captain America, where if you buy a ticket through the AMC website, you get like a code for a exclusive skin for Marvel Rivals. I think Marvel recognizes the juggernaut that they might have accidentally stumbled into. Yep. Maybe not accidentally. Maybe they knew all along. But I mean, when you go back, I think the trailer, the first reveal of this game happened last March, so a little under a year ago. When it was like Marvel, I think the announcement was like Marvel Games is showing off a new thing, and people were like, "Oh, whatever, dude! Like it's gonna be some MMO or like some mobile game." And then, you know, the Marvel Rivals trailer dropped and they're like, okay, but what is it? And then they were like, it's just an Overwatch clone, and now it's arguably the biggest game in the world right now. Yeah.
You always get the test when you do it, when like you're walking around and you hear people like, I was at, I think I was at Starbucks the other day, and like I heard them talking about like who they were mating in Marvel Rivals. I said, what the heck is going on? This is insane.
And then on the other side of things, just a bit of news that I had to include, because obviously Justice League Kills the Suicide Squad is done. It has wrapped up with the release of its final character, Deathstroke, who they just gave all the powers to, from what I understand. I still never played that game.
Who cares?
I'm not going to, unfortunately. And then, spoiler alert for that game, I guess with the release of the Deathstroke DLC, that it kind of wrapped up the story, and the story is apparently for nothing.
Yep.
The whole conceit behind the whole plot, which, you know, if you chart, again, we've been doing this podcast long enough where we've been doing this long enough where we follow projects from inception to release to, in this case, the end. And we were both pretty excited by the concept of this, and then like it being set in the Arkhamverse, it being developed by Rocksteady, we were like, this sounds amazing. And then it's a live service game.
They waited to say that too.
And I was like, ugh. And then it got delayed for a really long, like a year. Yep. It got pushed back. And then we were like, ugh. And then the first trailer came out, and it was like, here's the battle pass, and here's this. I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And then the plot details got released, and like everyone dies. And you're like, I get that, Suicide Squad, but then like just the way they handled things, and now the ultimate reveal is that none of it mattered because they were all clones.
Thanks God.
And I don't know if that's like
I feel like it's something to do with the Arkham game. I feel like it has something to do with Spider-Man. I think it has something to do with like the Arkham games of them wanting to do one last Arkham game
with Batman,
and they want to like, wait a minute, guys,
do it right.
Just kidding, y'all. Just joshing.
Just jokes.
Just jokes.
Except for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she's actually dead. So my bad on that.
Yeah, I mean, again, just a spectacular failure.
Yeah.
Another live service failure.
Justice League versus Suicide Squad. What a joke.
Yeah, so everyone just chill. Everyone stop. Because, you know, the other problem with live service oversaturation, people only have so much money to spend.
Yes.
Like, you guys are not helping by, like, you're wondering why your games are failing, but then, like, people are already putting a ton of time and energy into, like, a game like Marvel Rivals, where, like, that's where your money and energy is going to go. Like, if you're paying for $15 for a battle pass and buying skins, like, my energy is not going to another freaking live service. Like, I'm not playing 50 live service games.
I mean, you want to turn in and look at Guardians of the Galaxy, the game, no expectation, but, like, that story was phenomenal.
Yeah.
An absolutely phenomenal story that, like, made me feel like I was reading, like, the most emotional Guardians of the Galaxy comics, like, ever.
And I don't mind paying $70 for a game that I'm going to play for 40 hours and then never play again.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at least if you have to pay for the game, that's fine. That's okay. You're selling me a product. That's all right. I don't want to pay for anything after that's, like, that will not help. Like, what battle pass why am I paying for a battle pass? I just want to play a game. That's it.
And, you know, again, the Guardians of the Galaxy game, like, all the cosmetics and stuff you have to find in-game.
Yes.
You have to explore the world and find the chests, and then you get the costumes.
But then the story is so enthralling, you're like, I actually care. And that's the piece, is like, I don't care about anybody in that game or that story at all. But then you turn over, you look at the Jedi games, like, I care about Cal Kestis so much. Yeah. To the point where people are like, do live action because we love him so much. Like, that's how you know you did something good.
Yep. 100%. So that's that. Marvel news, and this one is a doozy. So you might. How well do you remember Iron Man 1? I'm
a complete nerd, so of course I remember Iron Man 1.
All right, but do you have any fondness for the terrorist guy?
If you're asking if I have fondness for
Raza?
If you're asking if I have a fondness for terrorism, then no. I don't have a fondness for terrorism.
You're staunchly anti-terrorism.
Yes.
Great.
I'm putting my state claim.
You're putting that on the record.
that I'm anti-terrorism.
All right, well.
I'm like Jack Bauer.
Do you remember the guy in the beginning?
We're going to talk about 24 one day.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember the guy in the beginning of Iron Man who kidnapped Tony Stark?
Yeah, he's like, hey, get over here, man.
Build me a missile, please.
Yeah,
Tony Stark was like,
I'll take 1 million missiles.
What if I built an Iron Man suit instead?
No, I didn't want you to do that. That's actually what he said. He said, no, I didn't want you to do that.
He came into the room like the third time and was like, you're not building an Iron Man suit in here, are you?
Yeah.
And Tony Stark and
he's like, no.
Tony Stark was like, never. I would never do that.
That's insane. Jensen, let's complete this Iron Man suit.
Look, this has a flamethrower. My turn. Iron Man 1 is great.
Yeah, it is.
But anyway, so Ferhan Tahir, who plays Raza in Iron Man, has been confirmed by Deadline to be returning for VisionQuest.
What? Yo, what is VisionQuest?
Spoiler alert for Iron Man 1.
Yeah. He will return, actually.
Raza was killed by Obadiah Stane.
Was it on screen?
I mean,
no, it was a clone like Suicide Squad kills Justice League.
It was a hologram.
It was a hologram.
Like in Fast and Furious. Kurt Russell was there for some reason.
Yo, Kurt Russell was doing mad product placement for Coronas. It was crazy.
What is this?
I don't know what this show is. Tommy's in this show, yes?
Who?
Tommy.
Tommy who?
Billy and Tommy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, James Spader's coming back. We know that.
James Spader doesn't do a lot, but Marvel calls him. He's like, yeah, I'm in.
So here's the thing. Vision is a show about Vision, right?
Right.
Granted, Vision was Jarvis. Yes. I understand that. But Raza never interacted with Iron Man. Mm-mm. He interacted with Tony Stark.
And Obadiah, which makes me think that maybe somehow this show has something to do with Ironheart in some way, shape, or form.
And Jeff Bridges is going to come back?
No.
Why is this guy coming back, is my question.
I don't understand. Maybe in a flashback, but it still doesn't make sense.
A flashback for whom?
Tony?
You tell me Robert Downey Jr. is going to show up in this bad boy?
Yep. You heard it here, folks.
Somehow Raza returned.
Yeah, that was insane.
I can't believe that.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I think this Vision show is gonna be pretty good. I'm on record.
Definitely be like interesting.
I think the Scarlet Witch stuff has been the most compelling stuff that they've done. And that includes Agatha all along. Like that, we talked about that show on here. It's really, really good. So that kind of gave me more momentum. James Spader coming back as Ultron.
That was a big win.
Is incredible. But now this guy's coming back.
Yeah. All right.
Great. Headline news. This one's a bit more of a rumor, but it seems like it could probably potentially be happening.
Yeah.
It's something that got a little bit of traction after Furiosa came out.
Yep.
And now it's got some real traction, and that is George Miller potentially directing Thor 5, which I think would be fantastic.
Yeah, because I think we even said it.
Fantastic.
Obviously, this was like come on, man. That's 2 today. We were talking about it a while ago, even before we started doing this, where we were like, Thor and Hulk were the 2 characters that were like, you can keep them running for years, and like I'll be fine. Like, keep them running forever. Like, if you can't get the universal rights, just have him show up in Captain America 4. Just have him show up for as long as you can get from Mark Ruffalo. But Chris Hemsworth, just keep running the movies up, and I think he wants to get a get back from Thor 4. Now, stupid me watched Thor 4 the other day, just cause. However, George Miller, and I mean, we talked about it when we talked about Furiosa. I mean, George Miller has like a veracity in the way that he filmmakes that I think is really remarkable. Like his scope and scale, but it feels like there's this like rugged piece that goes over it. But then there's this little dash of tenderness that he just sprinkles in there. And I think that's like unabashedly Thor, specifically Chris Hemsworth's Thor. And like, at you Marvel Studios, like, do you have it in you to make it epic? Like, I feel like George Miller can really bring Thor back to like this epic nature. Now, the one thing that I told you before we hopped on here, I'm so mad that imagine if George Miller had Gore and Christian Bale, like, woof. Woof, woof, woof.
Yeah, unfortunately for Thor 4, Taika Waititi just stopped caring.
I mean, you have options. I mean, I have an idea. All right, hear me out. You set this movie in the future, in the far, far future, and you do God Emperor Thor.
Oh, that could be cool.
And you do like an old man Thor, essentially. Not old man, because he won't look too old, but you do an older looking Thor. You do Thor's kids, like you do Thor's 3 daughters that he has, and you kind of spin it like that. Like you do an older Thor. What happened to the God Butcher? He replaced himself for right? He
died.
But he like traded himself for his daughter, right?
Yeah.
Christian Bale would never come back, right?
I mean, it depends how good of a time he had. Or bad of a time.
I mean, how you spin it...
Or if you could just be like, hey, this is going to be way different than the last one.
Yeah, because what you can plausibly do is, you got to ask yourself where you place this... If this movie comes out before Secret Wars...
What if they just forget that Thor 4 ever happened and just do Gore again?
No, they can't do that.
Sure they can.
Unfortunately. But that's what I'm saying, like... Maybe Gore finds a way to come back, and then you do Gore True this time. Like, nah, I'm not just coming for... Like, I'm coming for the Celestials. Like, I will... Oh no, maybe you just make... George Miller made Furiosa full... It was a full revenge story. Just do that again. But do it good this time. But... and then... So...
I'm a villain again.
I'm back. But then you put Tom Hiddleston back in this movie. Like, you get them all back together for one last movie.
Thor's like, nah, man. I thought we hashed this out.
Nah, man.
Gore's like, I changed my mind.
I
got the Necro Sword again.
Yeah. Whoa, no, not the Necro Sword from Marvel Comics. How'd you get that?
Noel's like...
Noel's like...
Noel from across the Sonyverse is like, hang on.
Whoa, brother. Whoa. I gotta get one of those. But no, I feel like that would be a cool approach. You do an old man. You do the God Emperor Thor that Donny Cates was working on him. Jason Aaron was doing after that was Jason Aaron's like post War of the Realms. He was doing like the old man Thor with his daughters. I think that would be cool. You do an older Loki, and then or the option they're gonna pick and I don't know, it's because I've been watching Ted Lasso, but you follow through on the Brett Goldstein, like you make him the other lead of the movie, and you do the 2 of them. They punch for a bit, and then they're mates against Zeus. Like, keep it simple. You give Russell Crowe another shot to be properly
be a little more serious.
Right.
I'm assuming Korg won't be coming back.
No. Taika Waititi's never touching a Marvel project ever again. No. Absolutely not.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for that. I think that'd be great. We obviously know George Miller got a lot of great work out of Hemsworth in Furiosa, so...
Whoa, wait. If you're gonna do this idea... George Miller, I know you're listening. If you're gonna do this idea, why don't you... You know who you get to play his daughter? You get Anya Taylor-Joy. I
feel like they want her for something else.
Yes, they do. No. I could see her playing like an Emma Frost, but...
she was the lone bright spot of New Mutants.
Yeah, she was.
She was fabulous.
Oh, what am I saying? She can't play Emma Frost. She could, but...
She could.
Oh, you know who she would be incredible as? Black Swan from Hickman's Avengers run.
Yeah.
She would be phenomenal as Black Swan.
Yeah, I just got a feeling that they want her for something.
Yeah. Anya Taylor-Joy would cook in Star Wars as well too.
Yes.
She got big Star Wars energy.
She does have big Star Wars. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. So George Miller, do it. As your agent, do it.
Make it serious.
He will. He'll make it sort of serious.
Sure. Bring Jane back too.
Sure. Get her back in there. This is Asgard, or wherever she went at the end. Valhalla. DC thing. Millie Alcock is confirmed to be appearing in the Superman movie. Great.
Good stuff.
And David Krumholtz has been confirmed as playing her father in the Supergirl movie.
Good stuff.
Also good.
I'm assuming her Earth father.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, don't do that Supergirl stuff.
Previously played by Dean Cain. Hey man, I'm just saying facts.
Yeah, these are the facts.
I'm not surprised by this.
No, I love the positioning of what they're putting this Superman movie against. Of like, this universe could have heroes as old as like years and years old.
Yeah, and I mean, this movie's going to make $1 billion, and they probably want Supergirl to be really successful.
Yes, yep.
Throw her in this probably $1 billion movie and let people fall in love with Millie Alcock the way that we did when we saw her in House of the Dragon.
Yep, that was the best point. That was one of the best points you've ever made. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Like, go watch Supergirl next summer. Like, this is going to be the one for next year.
It's as much as James Gunn is like, this isn't going to be like a Marvel thing where we're going to do the thing. You're going to do the thing. It's why the early stages of Marvel work so well, where you could be like, watch an Iron Man, and then Nick Fury shows up at the end and be like, we're doing the Avengers, and you're like, I'm in.
Ah, shoot.
Same thing with every other movie that they did in Phase 1. Like, Thor, you're doing Thor next?
Yeah. Wait, is that Hawkeye? Is that Hawkeye from Marvel Comics in there? Are you Jeremy Renner from The Town in my Thor movie? What's going on?
So yeah, get Millie Alcock in there, let her Supergirl a bit for a couple minutes.
Well, I just like the approach that they're going to take to be like, I hate you. Like, I hope that's the approach they take. It's like, I really don't, like, you're cool and you're my cousin, but I don't really like you. Like, you got everything, and now I'm just like... And the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow story, and the fact that they're leaving Tom King in to help make this is phenomenal.
Yep.
That story is so good.
Yep, for sure. So I'm really, obviously we are already looking forward to Superman, but knowing that she's going to show up, I'm really keen to see how she shows up as Supergirl.
Yep.
I'm really excited for that. And then I guess our segue into our topic is we got the trailer.
Yes, we did.
Daredevil Born Again. We got the trailer. It's probably, just, I guess we could just start there with Daredevil. Probably the most anticipated show for us, at least, for 2025. The Last of Us is right there, but this is, knowing what we got with The Last of Us, like, we already kind of expect kind of like excellence. But this Daredevil thing it's a real how it started, how it's going.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about a lot more in a couple weeks when we properly do a Daredevil retrospective.
I need you to find you need to like do a compilation of all the times I'm like, we should talk about Daredevil this week. You're like, no, the show doesn't come out for 2 years. And look at us.
We were doing that. You were doing that bit before this even got announced.
Yeah. Yep.
Like before, like when Daredevil was like the future of Daredevil was like up in the air.
I still had hope.
You wanted to do a Daredevil retrospective just because he was showing up in Spider-Man.
I wanted to do a Daredevil retrospective as the first episode of this podcast, and that's a real actual fact. That's not even us joking.
Should we just start this podcast by talking about Daredevil? So yes, Daredevil Born Again finally realized, finally coming out in a little more than a month. We got the trailer. All your favorites are back.
Yeah, eat your heart out, previous writers that didn't want to do that.
Yeah, like we'll talk about the kind of, you know, the story of Daredevil Born Again, you know, in a couple of weeks when we recap Daredevil and everything. But it's been a journey to get here. Before someone at Marvel was like, "Hey, why don't we just do Daredevil again?" And people were like, "Yep, sounds good." So this trailer obviously opens with D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox doing Daredevil.
Yeah.
What you been up to, you son of a bitch?
Yeah,
They
a
say to each other?
little bit of mutual respect on each side. I wouldn't say respect, but like
It's like, yeah, they're
it's like that interview that Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson had.
They're sitting at the diner from The Punisher and from Daredevil season 2, the same diner that they were in, talking about what have you been up to. Fisk
You know how many arrests cops can make if they frequent that diner?
And they just apparently Matt stopped being Daredevil again.
Well, they're taking that from Chip Zdarsky's run. Like I guarantee you, it's either that they take that he accidentally not AIDS, but like he accidentally kills somebody. Like if he was put through a court of law, he would be innocent, but obviously he's not going to do that. So I think he stopped Daredevil either because of that, or in the sadder one, in the fan theory that keeps running and running, and I think it's going to happen. It's because Foggy dies. Don't do it.
Why did you stop being a vigilante? Why did you stop being a raging bitch, Fisk? He didn't say that. He could have.
No, he said Mayor Fisk.
Remember that time your adopted daughter whammied you in the head and made you change your evil ways? She didn't.
That was crazy. And then he just went back to doing villainous things.
Now he's the mayor.
Now he is the mayor.
Yeah, so they're chatting. This trailer is intercut with a lot of bones breaking and a lot of blood squirting, which raises a couple questions. One question, I guess. And it's like, are we just doing this to be like, look, it's Daredevil?
That's my one fear. That's the only...
I wasn't thinking it until like one of the last shots in the trailer when Buddy gets his leg snapped in half. And I'm like, ooh. First of all, I was like, ooh. And then I was like, wait a minute.
But like none of the other Daredevil trailers really did it like that.
No.
Because like they were operating off of like...
Aura?
Or they were operating off of tone. Like this is just... And then... this one's my real rewatch. This isn't Court's a psychopath that always watches Daredevil, which I do. This is my actual rewatch before the show. I watched the first 4 episodes and I'm like, it's not violent for violence sake. It is violent because that is the tone of this universe and this show. But it's not overtly violent. This is just an MA...
Yeah, violent things happen.
Yes, this is just a TV MA project. That is it. This is point blank simple. I have this fear that this show is missing... And all those things play narratively, too. All of those things play narratively. Like him getting the crap beat out of him as well, too.
It's his ultimate superpower.
Yep. But it is. No, his ultimate superpower is his Catholicism, actually. But I'm telling you, like, the show itself, like, those first 3 seasons just operated off of that. Like, it wasn't violence for violence sake. And I have this fear that this show is just like, the Marvel execs were like, you guys love that gritty violence. Like, no, yeah, but that's not the reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's my only the trailer kind of flagged that for me, where I was like, there's a lot of violent stuff, but it's a lot of, like, gratuitous, like, a lot of bones breaking, a lot of sound effects.
Yeah.
Of bones breaking that I'm just like, all right, maybe don't do that, hopefully, as much. But narratively, it looks pretty strong. It looks pretty great.
Yeah, it looks solid. I mean, there's something... I still feel like it got hit with a dash of the Marvel lighting on there, too.
Probably.
Maybe to keep it congruent with the rest of the projects, but there's going to be something I missed from that original 3 seasons.
Sure.
They look gorgeous.
I love I told you one of the raw shots ever that they've ever done is Matt looking completely unfazed by having a shotgun.
What is he doing? I know you said he's not looking, because what is he seeing? A world on fire.
A shotgun to his head, and he's just like, whatever.
love this. I actually love, and you know what this also does? They did a good job about like this is prime Daredevil now. Like those first 3 seasons were really like year 1, year 2, year 3. Like this is like straight prime. Like if you were to pick up a Marvel comic right now, Daredevil. Maybe not now because he's old now, but
Foggy and Karen are back for a bit. Karen got a little bit more in this trailer than Foggy did, which I guess fuels some more of the theories.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's fine. Like, I really enjoy that character. I really enjoyed Deborah Allen Wall in that world. She annoyed me a little bit in The Punisher, but I think they kind of got away from her a little bit in The Punisher. Speaking of The Punisher, we did get a little bit of a look at crazy hatchet-swinging Frank Castle. I assume he's also the one deploying the smoke grenades.
Yeah.
In the trailer, because smoke grenades don't strike me as a Daredevil weapon.
Maybe he's expanding finally. No, isn't it going to affect him way more if he uses a smoke grenade? Wait, he can't use a smoke grenade actually.
Daredevil throws a smoke grenade. He's like, "Oh no!
Oh shoot, my one weakness." No, my multiple weaknesses. They're all happening at the same time.
So I imagine that was probably Frank throwing. I mean, that's type A, like Punisher aura, right? Smoke grenade deployment. Guy maniac walks in with a bunch of machine guns.
Grunt. Oh no, it's the Punisher, guys.
Over under 2.5
grunts
screams out of Bernthal in this show.
Under. Oh, I think he's gonna get his own.
You know
show
what? The way you said Punisher made me think of the. You're probably too young for the Punisher video game that came out. Like PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
But in the opening mission, you're like you go through like a crack house, and this guy is talking to his buddy Maurice, and he's like, "Maurice, are you there?" And then you grab Maurice, and he goes, "Hey man, you ain't Maurice, you're the Punisher."
No, it's the same energy. Oh no, she got an Iron Man suit.
And that's what that made me think of. Oh shit, you ain't Maurice, you're the Punisher. I hope someone does that in Born Again.
No, it's gotta be Turk that does it. No, put Turk in this show, man.
Oh no, you're the Punisher.
You gonna do me like that, D? Yo, put Turk.
I'm on parole, man. Yeah. So the Punisher, I'm, going back to the trailer. Like, I'm curious of what the Punisher's deal is now that he's in the MCU. Like, what has he been up to?
Maybe he got pulled from the Netflix universe and dropped into the MCU, and he's just like, why is everybody having so much fun?
Yeah,
I want to murder someone.
That's why that's what he's here to punish is just too much fun.
The MCU itself. Oh, Punisher, but he's a Herald of Galactus.
Yo, now that he's in the MCU, give him the War Machine armor.
Yo, whoever gave him the War Machine armor in the first place? You idiots.
Yeah, but I'm curious at what. Like, I guess the easiest answer is that everyone got snapped and he's just been punishing for 5 years,
or vice versa. He
just got back.
No.
Oh, he'd be livid.
Yo, Thanos. Dog.
Oh man, the Punisher versus Thanos.
The Punishers, the Quicksilvers, the Daredevils.
I did see someone like saying like, what if he teamed up with Ronan in 5 years and they just mowed down gangs together?
Yo, that would be so hard. That'd be hard. Yo, put Jeremy Renner in this show. I mean, speaking of that, we can talk about that for a little bit. Anybody you think showing up in this show? This has potential.
There's got to be another defender in this thing, right?
I think it's Luke Cage. I think it. Well, I know. Luke Cage. No, don't dab. He just dabbed, guys.
Well, there was a Harlem's Paradise billboard in this trailer.
Is this 9 episodes or 13 episodes?
You think we'd know this by now?
No, they kept fluctuating the episode. Vanessa's back. I love it.
Yep, Vanessa's back. Original recipe, Vanessa.
Yep.
Daredevil Born Again. Why does it not say? 9 episodes.
9. One of the best things the MCU has done not in the
but also the second season is going to start filming this March.
Right. So they're going to go like bang bang back to back
like a TV show.
They might be able to get the
second season out next year. Like a real TV show.
Yeah, like they can just do each year get a new season.
That would be like an actual TV show. That would be great.
Isn't that crazy, guys?
We don't have to go 7 years between seasons of shows. Right. That would be fantastic. Yes.
What? It's going to be what?
No, I think a Defender or two is probably going to show up in this.
Wasn't Jessica Jones supposed to show up? Didn't we know that?
She was supposed to, and then they say no. But like,
Which,
Kristen Ritter's been talking an awful lot about Jessica Jones lately.
the only person they didn't ask was Finn Jones.
I still think he's going to come back at some point.
I'm down. Well, I'm not going to beat a dead horse about Shang-Chi too. That's the easiest layup to make sure he's credible again. But Luke, I think Mike Coulter is the easiest one to bring back.
He's fantastic. I gotta stop saying that. What about? All right, this is an out there one, and maybe I'm Marvel.
Yeah, I want like an MCU.
Okay,
character.
maybe I'm. Well, not. I wasn't even gonna say an MCU character, but maybe it's because I'm Marvel Rivals build. But Cloak and Dagger.
Yo, that would be awesome. That'd be sick.
They have X-Men 97 synergy.
You beat me by 1 second. I was gonna say subconsciously you were thinking about X-Men 97.
But I've been saying for a while that I wanted to see those two come back, specifically those two actors as like an older Cloak and Dagger.
I got one. How much for Oscar Isaac for an episode?
As Moon Knight?
Don't tell me that wouldn't go a little Moon Knight, Daredevil, Punisher, triumphant, just going crazy.
That'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
Moon Knight works. We do know that. We know that a couple things. We know we saw Bullseye is back in this. Wilson Bethel is back. I'm unclear what Bullseye's role is going to be in this.
Well, I guarantee you, he might want. I did have a theory about this. I wonder if Matt's going to be helping Fisk for a little bit.
Protect him from Bullseye?
Protect him in general. Like, I will bring you back. You get these bad people off the streets. End of story. You get to be Daredevil again, but you just do my bidding. And then Matt's going to be like, wait, this is not good, actually.
Oh.
And then, by proxy, like, Bullseye's just like, I want Fisk dead. Like, I want him dead for what he did to me.
Bullseye's an issue, man.
Yo, that's a balanced breakfast.
He was throwing everything he could.
Yo, Daredevil Season 3 goes so crazy.
Snow globes, staplers.
Pencils.
That guy was getting...
He literally threw the kitchen sink at Matt, I guess.
That guy was getting tattooed. That was crazy. We know that Kamala Khan's dad is back in this. She doesn't really fit in the Daredevil universe.
The only thing that she does to fit in here is that she's from Jersey City and she might have just went on a school trip.
Punisher,
she recruits him for the Young Avengers.
Punisher shows up to kill Ms. Marvel.
Yo, that would be Punisher versus Ms. Marvel.
Anyone from the... I mean, they pretty much got everybody back, but anyone from the Daredevil-averse?
That I want back?
Yeah.
I mean, a weird one that I want back is...
Nobu?
No. Nobu actually would be kind of cool. Nobu would be kind of cool.
This trailer was lacking for ninjas.
Yeah, not a lot. No, they're gonna make him do the.
Or is White Tiger gonna be a ninja?
Yeah, and R.I.P. to the actor as well too, who passed away. It's unfortunate he's not
ninja adjacent. Yeah, I guess
it's unfortunate he's not gonna be able to be back in this too. So, yeah. However, I'm trying to think from that.
Madame Gao?
No, she's old as heck. Shang-Chi? Nah,
he's not Daredevil adjacent.
I'm not gonna lie. That's why I'm like. Can you bring Finn Jones back and just make him put him in the Iron Fist suit? What's so difficult about this?
You know what this trailer didn't have, or this show doesn't have, that I'm stunned, and maybe they're saving it for season 2? Elektra.
I'm not stunned at all. I'm
a little surprised.
I'm not stunned. I feel like they're waiting a little bit because they want to get their feet back under, because then they're gonna also have to explain how is she alive.
You never have to explain that with Elektra,
especially if you're jumping from Netflix to the MCU, because like. Some people are gonna be, it's alright. But they
used Dragon Bones the last time. There's no explanation that they can't work around.
Defenders is the craziest show because it like mixes like Jessica Jones's like real world like PI stuff with like Danny Rand's like.
Yeah, but the best part of that is that they all act within the confines of the lore of their own TV show. Like Jessica Jones is like, get lost.
Yep.
Like, what do you mean you're blind and you're Daredevil? Get out of here. Nice horns, idiot.
Yep. Luke Cage is just like, I'm Luke Cage.
I'm bulletproof. Everyone's like, Iron Fist, shut up.
Yo, they remember when Jamis from Dune was in the Defenders?
Sigourney Weaver was in that.
Yo, that was crazy, dog. I can't believe she was in there.
Stick called the Iron Fist a thundering dumbass.
Bring him back. That's who I want back.
Stick? You know what? That's a great point. Stick should be in this.
Yep.
He died?
Yeah, he died.
He got beheaded.
Yeah.
It's tough to come back from.
But not impossible.
Not impossible. Stick comes back. I spent my whole life believing in the impossible, and then one day
No, don't give Stick his own intro. No, give Punisher his own intro.
Like classic CW voiceover intro.
Yes.
My name is Frank Castle.
And my family's dead. My bad, man.
See, that's another thing him and Hawkeye can bond over.
What do you mean? Oh, well, okay, so one of the last points I want to make, because I want to run through the rest of the
Yeah. We got to stop talking about Daredevil.
Because we're going to talk about Daredevil a stupid amount once we get the
plenty of time to talk about Daredevil.
One of the best moments out of the multiversal saga was when Monica came back after the snap.
Yep.
Do you remix that scene with Matt coming back after, with Matt? Because did they say he was alive during that whole time, or did he get snapped?
They've never said.
I would kill for a scene for all of his senses going off when half the world comes back all at the same time. I would kill for that. That would be such a crazy scene to kind of pull off.
Sensory overload.
Yeah, he would get sensory overload.
The Punisher would just be like, another day in the office.
Yep. More people to kill. More of Central City's finest for me to slaughter.
No, you know what would be actually funny for the Punisher? Is if, he got snapped, in the middle of, gunning down... No! He got snapped in the middle of, gunning down a gang, and then he came back to a different gang.
I thought you were going to say innocent people, in a park.
That would also be funny.
No!
He got snapped mid, machine gun firing. In return, Punisher shoots up a kindergarten.
No, he can't be a school shooter.
The original school shooter, many are saying.
No.
That would be pretty great. He just comes back and he's just right back at it.
I can't wait to see it, because they're going to do the Oppenheimer thing with him where he cuts his hair and then he gets his suit back. And they're going to play the Oppenheimer music too.
Oh, the Punisher?
Uh-huh.
Well, he's only appeared in the proper Punisher getup once.
Uh-huh.
And it was at the end of the Punisher season 2.
What was he wearing at the end of Daredevil season 2? It was close, but I don't think
it was close. He had
he looked more of the Punisher movies than anything.
Yeah. Whereas the end of Punisher season 2, he had the long coat with the big skull, the machine guns.
Hey! Oi! They should have made the Punisher bird. Oi!
Carl
Oi!
Needless to say, we're very excited for Daredevil when it comes out.
This has consummate meme potential, and I don't know why that makes me even further more excited.
The Last of Us. We've talked about this plenty. It's another thing that we've talked heaps about. I think we even talked about the trailer last week.
Yeah, we did. The new trailer that they dropped, and it showed off Abby a little bit more.
I mean, the show...
It's going to break everybody's heart.
Yeah, it's going to be controversial.
Oh, my God. And you know what? We're excited. That's it. I don't even really want to dip into this one too much, because it's going to make me mad.
Yeah,
fallout from whatever this season's going to be is going to be
we're going to be fighting a battle for quite a while. For the entirety of this run.
You chose the wrong side.
But yes, we are very excited for The Last of Us.
Unabashedly looks phenomenal. Phenomenal. This show looks. The production value is it's off the charts.
Yeah.
Craig Mazin, Neil Druckmann, all the actors on this show you want to talk about straight cooking? This is what we're talking about. And everybody shut up that Bella Ramsey does. Shut up.
It's so crazy.
Shut up.
Again, that's another stupid thing that people are mad about. I don't get it. But yeah, this is a shorter season, 7 episodes.
Purposefully, I think.
Starting in April, so there will be some Last of Us Daredevil crossover.
Yes.
Obviously not coming out on the same days, because Last of Us will be out on Sundays, but yeah, I mean, what else can I say? We're looking forward to this. Jeffrey, I keep saying this, but the idea that they got Jeffrey Wright to come back, hopefully means that there's going to be a lot of Isaac, WLF stuff going on, in season 2, which again, like I said, that's the perfect grounding mechanism for, Abby.
Yep.
So really looking forward to it.
Yep. You gotta humanize her as much as you can. If you can turn her into the most I'm telling you, man, find your most charismatic actor and cast him, dude. Make her as lovable and make that dynamic as lovable as possible. Have it get ripped right from under you, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yep. Yeah, that's 100% what you have to do. where do we want? Now the forum kind of opens up. Now we got those two things out of the way.
Let's talk about Andor. Let's talk about some Star Wars.
Andor, man, I can't wait for this thing.
I'm so, man, I started kicking a few weeks ago because I'm kind of committed to Daredevil for now, but
also comes out in April.
Yep, because at some point we're gonna have Andor, Daredevil, and Last of Us running all at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good world.
That's
to live
a
in.
potent mix.
Getting me to goosebumps.
Lord,
get Stephen Lang in Daredevil, by the way. I don't know, doing what? I don't know. Get him in there.
But I mean, this Andor setup looks very well done. I mean, the biggest thing that you're gonna ask for out of this too is you gotta prove the one trick pony isn't real. It's funny because like when you're so strong narratively, it's A, when you're so strong narratively, and B, when you come the heck out of nowhere and be that good, now you have a bit of a target on your back, because then it's going to ask, like, is this only once? Is this going to be... But I feel like...
Trust the process.
Yeah, who's the showrunner on this?
Tony Gilroy.
Yeah, Tony Gilroy.
The legend.
Just give Tony Gilroy the keys to the castle as well, too, at Lucasfilm.
An absolute legend.
Man, you want to... Oh, my God. I get chills talking about Andor, and I mean, it was the perfect contrast, because you look at something like The Acolyte, and then you look at something like Andor, and you're like, one of you has the things that people like about Star Wars, but the other one has the message of what Star Wars is, so why hasn't anybody been able to figure out how to mix those? And I know I keep talking about it, but the Jedi game has probably been one of the only ones that mix those two, like, the best it's been in the modern day.
Yep, and then, I mean, of course, not only challenge, but the biggest challenge I would say the show faces is obviously this is the season that it has to tie into Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
what better season to do that than when you have Ben Mendelsohn back?
Yep, Ben Mendelsohn's coming back as Krennic. We already know that Alan Tudyk is coming in. I guess, would you say he's returning as K2SO? He's arriving as K2SO. It's a prequel, but he's also returning to the character. So I don't know. Semantics.
These questions.
It's gonna be sectioned off similar to the season 1, whereas every 3 episodes is gonna be like a self-contained kind of arc, and then the time is gonna jump after every 3, which I think is probably the best way to handle it as far as getting it to bleed into Rogue One. And I mean, they laid a lot of the character groundwork for Cassian in season 1, so I feel like you can get away with that with doing a time jump. Like we get why. After season 1 of Andor, we understand why he's doing what he's doing. So now you can kind of just be like, 3 episode arc, 3 episode arc, 3 episode arc, 3 episode arc, Rogue One. Yep. And it'll make sense. So I'm really looking forward to it. That show
Skarsgård is back, is Luthen.
Yep. Some of the best writing that Star Wars has ever had.
Even the cast rolling throughout these episodes. I mean, like from Ebon Moss-Bachrach to the biggest surprise cameo from Andy Serkis, who delivered one of the best monologues I've ever heard.
Genevieve O'Reilly is great as Mothma.
Mm-hmm.
So
Man,
even Buddy, the freaking deputy inspector guy.
Yep. Oh my God.
He was really good.
And down to the kid that was in End of the Effing World. Like, man, that monologue that he gave, that like. He did Star Wars. Like he described Star Wars to the T.
Where's Beaks?
Where's Beaks?
Forrest Whitaker was in this.
Yeah, he was.
But he wasn't
the best he'd ever been.
Yeah, because he wasn't doing a weird voice.
Yeah, he was just sad about the rebellion.
What was he doing in Rogue One?
I don't know, man. Bo Khaled knows the truth. It's still a good movie.
It's a great movie. But what was he cooking? What was Forrest Whitaker cooking in that movie?
I don't know, man.
So yeah, Andor, I'm really, really excited for. Where else are we gonna go here?
I mean,
Stranger Things?
Yeah, we can talk Stranger Things for a little bit. I mean, this show is kind of...
It's interesting.
It's not only an interesting place for the show, it's an interesting place for Netflix, too, because I find it so... mind-boggling that because
people are kind of people are kind of like at this point with season 5 of Stranger Things, it feels like the consensus is like just wrap it up.
Yep.
Like, come on, like we're kind of over
Millie
this.
Bobby Brown's married.
Yeah, like we're kind of over this.
There's so much stuff that's happened.
Yeah, it's a dangerous place. Let's
Yeah.
put and not dangerous in terms of like the upside down. It's just this show is in a really tricky situation.
Yep. I mean, you have so many things that can work against this right now. I mean,
Yeah.
the time, the age of the
The time is the biggest offender here.
Unfortunately, for real world implication, the second biggest offense is what's his name? It's
Noah Schnapp.
It's Noah Schnapp. Like these are some big things that need to be addressed because that's immediately going to be a talking point as soon as the season comes out. Like people are going to want him killed, like that character killed off immediately. Like that's a problem. Like that's a big uphill battle. But I wanna flip this the other way. And Squid Games was kind of the thing that I was just like, people care about Squid Games too. It's been so long, and then it was the #1 most watched thing in Netflix history. I was like, oh yeah, they still care. Which tells me, I think when this season comes out, people are gonna be like, oh yeah, we're back. Like,
yeah, as soon as we get like a proper trailer, and like the
oh my god,
yeah. I think people will turn around, but it just feels like there's Stranger Things fatigue setting in. And I mean, we talked about the season 4 in one of our episodes.
It's the best season.
It's phenomenal.
Of that show. It's the best. It's like 4 in 1 kind of battle, but I think 4 has this driving force that goes along with it that I think really hammers it home.
It's the best. It's the best any of them have ever been.
The acting is off the charts from everybody. Finn
Wolfhard.
Let's not.
You know how I feel about that character.
Yeah. You really have beef with Finn Wolfhard.
No. I have beef with Mike Wheeler as a character. I don't have beef with Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, he's the most one-dimensional character to me. He
regressed. He regressed from season 1,
and he was the main character of that show. Like everything, he was like the audience surrogate. Everything runs through him, and then it got stolen from him.
Yeah, but everyone else was probably the best that they've been. Obviously, it got a show-stealing performance from Joseph Quinn.
David Harbour was as great as always.
Yeah, the music was great as always.
But that story,
the story was tremendous. Vecna easily the best villain.
They did the threefold reveal in the last episode. I was like, my mind's being blown right now. This is insane.
Vecna, a villain so good that he's returning for season 5.
Right. And that's not something that show does. That show usually gets creative with what the next thing is going to be. And then
Vecna might be returning. Eddie might also be returning.
If they can lock
it depends. I mean, Joseph Quinn's star has ascended astronomically since he was in the show. So who knows if he was even available.
Right.
The guy's been busy.
Yeah, he has been busy.
Busy between major projects.
Yeah.
I mean, he did A Quiet Place movie. Yep. He did Gladiator. Yep. He's doing Fantastic Four.
Yep.
So who knows? So yeah, Stranger Things, like I said, it's in a tricky spot, but obviously once we get that first trailer, all will be right, I think, and people will be like, oh no, actually the show's phenomenal. So
you want to switch gears into some Game of Thrones?
Yes, I would love to. Yes, the third Game of Thrones averse show, one that I'm really looking forward to in lieu of House of the Dragon, will be coming out next year, 2026. So we're getting a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be shorter, on the shorter side, compared to all the other shows. This one's only going to be 6 episodes, chronicling the story of Duncan Egg, which is your classic guy takes a kid on a journey story.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And a lot of kind of unknown actors, which invokes historically what these shows have done. It doesn't even have the what House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones had, which was like the really notable person. Like
From
Game of Thrones, like Game of Thrones had Sean Bean, obviously, to buoy that first season. House of the Dragon had Matt Smith, and Reese Ifans kind of buoying, and Patty Considine in some circles, British circles. The show doesn't really have that. The show has a lot of unknowns, a lot of British actors, and
the perfect show to put Jude Law in.
Dude, that would have been great. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That universe is still great. I mean, the production of all these Thrones shows is sensational. And this show is coming out in just says late 2025, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously not going to clash with Last of Us. So
no.
It'll probably occupy like similar time frame that House of the Dragon occupied, like that midsummer, probably
into like August.
Yeah.
Or August into like September.
Yeah, so I would expect that. And I'm really looking forward to it. More Thrones is always a good thing. And that movie is coming, which I still haven't wrapped my head around that. Should we dip into some of the Marvel stuff?
We can talk. Do you want to save Marvel for last?
I guess we can save Marvel for last because it's got the most stuff.
Yeah, we can. I mean, I'll just throw an interesting one at you. I kind of want to talk Percy Jackson season.
Yes,
I definitely want to,
for sure,
because I was super. I mean, and we kind of saw from the first promos and the first trailers for season 1, like, and I was such a big Percy Jackson kid growing up that, like, that one meant something. Like, this means something to me, like, just how I imagine, like, I think about it this way, the same way, like, when you were watching Harry Potter growing up, that's literally exactly how I felt watching Percy Jackson. Like, that felt like it felt tried and true. Like, Walker Scoble, I mean, he's on the ascent. He's gonna be great. Like, I'm not gonna be surprised if one of these major studios pick him up to do something as well too. But I mean, it's the same thing as Harry Potter. Like, we're gonna see this story keep evolving and keep progressing and, like, add more characters. They already added Tyson into the season for Sea of Monsters because that's what they're doing. And I love the approach. Each season is one of the books. Like,
it's a great way to adapt a novel series,
right? So obviously we're gonna dip into Sea of Monsters, and then, like, by the time we get to the next season for season 3, because that season came out 2023, 2025. So 2027, you're looking about. They're going to be, like, 18, 19 by that time. Like, that's when you can start to, like, you're going to do Titan's Curse. And, like, that's when that franchise starts to really kind of flip a little bit. And, like, you kind of feel the weight of, like, the Olympian.
Which is typical for a young adult book series.
Right. The third one is where Alfonso Cuarón said, what if we did cinema in the Harry Potter movies? So
yeah, that's typically what happens with these young adult series is the first couple are, these things age up with their audience, which is the best way to do it. Obviously, again, this is another series that's marred by an unfortunate passing of a beloved actor. Lance Reddick. And
we even said it when we watched it. What I would have given
so
to get it's one of those performances that's so, like, striking.
Well, Lance Reddick just had a presence, man.
Yeah, he did. It's such an it's one of those ingenious pieces. Like, Lance Reddick as Zeus is something you wouldn't overtly think.
Yep. Recast with Courtney B. Vance.
Yeah, great. That's a great recast.
Legendary television actor.
Yeah.
Probably, maybe most known
for being Angela Bassett's husband.
Angela Bassett's husband, winning Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actor in a limited series where he portrayed Johnny Cochran in The People vs. O.J. Simpson. Which he's fantastic in. He also won the Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series in Lovecraft Country.
Oh my god, yeah.
And like you said, he is married to Angela Bassett. So yeah, I think, again, recasts, I can't imagine a tougher job, honestly, for both the actor being inserted into the role and for, like, the casting director. Like,
yeah. I mean,
it's a tough job, man.
We didn't even talk about the rumor that T'Challa's possibly going to be recast in the MCU, and they're looking for somebody to.
I don't know if we're clear if it's going to be a recast or if it's going to be the son aged up.
It all depends because, I mean, at this point you're going to have to. You would do the son aged up. No, I feel like that's the only.
It's just a shame if that that we talked ad nauseum for Black Panther 2 how good Letitia Wright was. So just, I don't know.
And it's one of those things where, like, if you go online and you'll see, like, I see so much hate for Black Panther 2, and I don't get it. I don't, it's almost like they didn't watch the same movie that we watched. I find it so insane every time I see that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But yeah, I mean, going back to Percy Jackson, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. The trio of kids that they have are great. They're great together. They're so, like, I obviously, like, Disney has to allocate budget so many different places, and obviously there's 2 factions that get the brunt of it. Mm-hmm. 3 if you want to count like your Disney princess kind of portion of everything, and, like, their live action remakes of everything. So, like, the more the show is successful, like, the more, like, resources are going to get put into it. So, like, the budget's going to go up. It's only going to help this show too. But the show gets carried by good performances. I love the relationship between him and his mother in the first season. It was really well done too. And the show has stakes. I love that. That's one piece that I love. I remember in season 1 where Poseidon shows up, and I'm like, wow, like, I actually felt that, like he did. And it's such a switch because it's like, no, Percy, like, I do actually care about you. Like, I do love you. Like, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
Imagine if Lance Reddick was your uncle.
It'd be great. I would love that. Invincible?
Yeah. Invincible's got some making up to do in a funny way of thinking about it.
For sure.
They have some graces to get back a little bit.
We're getting that show in a month.
Yeah. So
less than a month.
We're gonna get Invincible.
We're getting that show in 2 weeks.
We are getting it in 2 weeks, yeah. You're getting so you're gonna have Invincible. You're gonna have Invincible, Daredevil, Last of Us, and Andor possibly all running at the same time, depending on Invincible's how many episodes they have.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say Invincible has 9 episodes, 8 episodes. It's probably gonna be around like we might get a week where it's like 5 different shows at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, but no, to your point, I think we both really like season 2, but it also was just marred. That break crushed that show,
and that show and that second season had some real energy and pace to it. Like that reveal, like kind of the reveal they were waiting on from that season 2. I was like, or from season 2, I was like, wow, we really got some energy going into this one, man. And then just a break out of nowhere. Like there's something had to have happened.
Yeah.
So, man, it was such a derailment too. And wasn't something else running at the same time that everybody kind of took their attention off of? It wasn't Ahsoka, was it?
It was, yeah. They were both working at the same time.
And Ahsoka had the aura of
Star Wars.
Of Star Wars over
it. Had the aura of Star Wars and of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Well, like the Clone Wars.
Right.
You know, like...
You bring Hayden Christensen back, it's like, dang, dude, like, you had us, man.
Yeah.
But I think they can make up for it.
Yeah, I mean, the quality of Invincible is it's second to none, yeah.
That didn't drop from season 2, it's just... The train, the energy just left.
Yeah, that finale is an all-timer.
That finale is nuts.
I thought you were stronger. Like, that's an all-timer. Like, that's a finale that people remember. Yeah, we're going to get properly into, like, the Invincible multiverse stuff, which is great. It gets... You thought that story couldn't get crazier? It does get crazier.
It does get crazier.
What did Spider-Ham say in Spider-Verse? It does get weirder.
It does get weirder. Just to rapid fire a few non-franchise shows before we dip into the Marvel area of all the shows.
Yeah.
Severance season 2 just started.
Just kicked off. Yep.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, this is apparently like one of the best seasons of television from the people that have seen it.
Yep.
I expected nothing less.
No.
From Ben Stiller and from that cast and from that showrunner. Like, Severance is such this lightning in a bottle, like, interesting concept. Like, it's the definition of pulling off an interesting concept of, like, somebody wrote on their computer 20 years ago and never got, like, that is the best version of it. So I'm so glad the show is successful. Like, I'm gonna die on the hill that Apple TV's television department is just on some otherworldly movement. You go to Foundation, you go to Ted Lasso, you go to Severance, you go to Shrinking, you go to Godzilla. Like, they have some phenomenal television rocking.
Yeah.
The Studio, that was one that I saw the trailer and I was immediately in on that. I mean, A24 produced
comedy series,
but like I feel like it's gonna have a lot of dramedy in it to the comedy. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Seth Rogen looks incredible. I'm not gonna be surprised if he makes a run at an Emmy as well too. That's how good that looked too, like a real live look, like a satire, real life. It's like Succession, but Hollywood, which I really appreciate. So
Catherine Hahn is in this.
Phenomenal idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die on my Wicked rant real quick.
Wicked?
Love Wicked.
I think you said Wiccan.
No, I mean it's because Catherine Hahn has to do with this. I love Michelle Yeoh. I love Michelle Yeoh so much. I think Michelle Yeoh is only in Wicked is because she was Michelle Yeoh in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
You know who would have been better as I forget her character's name. If Catherine Hahn would have played Michelle Yeoh's character in Wicked, some otherworldly movement would have happened in a movie that was already incredible.
Yeah.
That's my Wicked rant for the day.
Nice.
Chad Powers with Glenn Powell, that was one that popped up that I'm really keen to check out. Like, that's going to be one of those non-shows that I'm like, wow, I'm like, week to week, I'm going to be like, this is the funniest thing that I'm watching right now. I think a lot of people are going to be into that as well, too.
Yep.
Simple concept. They took the Eli Manning when he went to the when he went to the Penn State practice.
Yep.
And nobody knew who he was, and he was outplaying everybody. Incredible. And then Glenn Powell's going to give a good performance like he always does.
Yeah.
And then I'll finish off with, obviously, this is... I love Daredevil. This, truthfully, is my most anticipated show of the year. It's The Bear Season 4. I think it is otherworldly television. This is... I will still bold stake claim it. Like, once it's all said and done, like, this is going to get mentioned in the same breath as, like, your Sopranos and like your long form running TV shows. Like, this is some of the best television you will ever find.
I agree.
Just point blank. It is absolutely incredible. It's crass. It's fast paced, but also it's somber. It is like some of those drama scenes that they have in the, like, I love how the Bear Season 1's like, it's this comedy about these, and then you're like, wait, where'd the comedy go? The comedy's gone.
Yeah, like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Where's the comedy you guys were talking about? And I mean, you're talking about one of the best leading men in Hollywood right now from a character perspective. Like I said, like that
future Star Wars actor.
Yeah, it's so weird. So weird. I mean, Jeremy Allen White as Carmi Berzotto is just... It is one of the single best performances that I've ever seen in my entire life, and it always will be. Until the day that I die, that performance will always ring true to me. So, let's talk Marvel. Let's stop talking about good television. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, let's talk about what brought us to the dance.
Eyes of Wakanda has the potential to be really cool.
I think so.
I think that show's got a little bit of...
Sign me up for anything that Ryan Coogler's involved with.
Yep. It's got
saying that.
It's got a little bit of something in that something, if you know what I mean. Like, it's got a little bit of some energy to it.
Yep, I agree.
I think that's also a good example of let the creators cook. Like, I feel like they let them kind of like, you guys do what you got to do.
Black Panther's in such a wild spot in the MCU because it does feel like almost separate from everything else.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, and it might work to the advantage. I can see this playing as like a more serious, not serious.
Chris
like,
Williams is in this? I'm in.
It's the best show ever. Next, it's the best show. It's next best show ever. Marvel Zombies, TVMA's Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
4 parts.
They gotta release this thing around Halloween, right?
Sure. If you don't have a Halloween thing to do, I guess Marvel Zombies makes the most sense.
You have to. I mean, where else are you gonna put it? It's like a weird what if adjacent thing.
Yeah. It's the last ditch effort of What If. One day we'll talk about What If. We might have to talk about What If Season 3 at some point.
Yeah, I guess we should.
You can't do what ifs about underdeveloped characters. I think that's the number one gripe I have with that season. Those characters were undercooked before you did what if scenarios for them.
Yeah, right.
So you got Eyes of Wakanda, you got Marvel Zombies, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which comes out in a week.
Yeah.
And that first trailer, I'm like, it was literally like, first you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. Like, I'll tune in.
Yeah.
They could have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, as far as animation goes, I mean, obviously X-Men 97 is the gold standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the spectrum they're on. It's like X-Men 97, and then like, I mean, I guess they've really only done like X-Men 97 and What If.
Yep.
So obviously you want to start filling out that that spectrum. I expect Eyes of Wakanda to be closer to the X-Men 97 quality just because of Ryan Coogler's involvement. He developed and executive produced it, so I feel like it's going to be really great. I would expect Marvel Zombies to probably be somewhere in the middle.
Sure.
And then the Spider-Man series, it could be on that higher spectrum, I think. If it's just a fun kind of alternate universe.
Is it an alternate I don't know.
It has to be, right?
Not necessarily.
Because we can't have...
Yeah, Nico Minoru kind of ruins the whole thing.
Daredevil also kind of ruins the whole thing also.
Does it? Who said Peter didn't run into him?
The Norman Osborn thing is kind of wild.
It's because he's black?
No. I think Coleman Domingo should just be Norman Osborn.
I said the same thing. As soon as I said, wait, just also make him just MCU Norman Osborn?
Peter Parker, 15-year-old freshman at Midtown High School, gained spider-like abilities. It doesn't really say anything about... It says Norman Osborn is Parker's mentor and man in the chair. Chamel noted that Norman is not a hero like Tony Stark, and his methods may not turn out in everyone's best interest. Nico Minoru, Harry Osborn, Otto Octavius. Yeah. Apparently, Doctor Strange is in this too.
Mm-hmm.
Amadeus Cho is in this thing.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Speed Demon is in this.
What?
Venom is apparently in this.
Best show ever. Let it be Tom Hardy too. Jerks.
Iron Man is in this. Kirk Connors is in this. Scorpion, Rhino. Cool. So we're getting the first 2 episodes on the day. Then the week after, we're getting the next 3 episodes. Then the following 3 episodes after that. And then the final 2. So it's going to be, quick maths, 2, 3, 5, 8, 10 episodes within 4 weeks.
Okay.
Interesting release model.
It is quite...
But I think for animated, I think that works.
That's fine. You kind of play with animated a little bit more than you can live action.
Yeah, X-Men 97 was a special case where that show was so good, and the hook at the end of every episode was like, I gotta see the next one. Like, you can't do this to me. So yeah, I think that I'm excited for that show.
Live action?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Wonder Man first, because we have the least of it. But
we have almost nothing.
But so I guess the rumor is that this is going to be like a satire show.
Uh-huh.
But like, listen,
well, didn't we kind of think that?
Okay, if you're going to do the satire thing, again, don't overcomplicate it. Like, you can approach it as the satire, but like, still make him Wonder Man. Like, still give him the Wonder Man powers, still do Grim Reaper, like, still do all of those things.
Yes.
Don't run away from it just to do something.
Yeah, don't make the whole thing a satire.
Like, he's just making a show about being a superhero. Like, no. Make him actual, like, and don't make, like, because they can do it like, it's just a TV show, but his brother's an actual serial killer in real life named the... No. Do the comic booky stuff. Don't back out now. Like, make him actual Simon Williams. Throw him in the love triangle with Vision and Scarlet Witch, too. I'm not gonna lie. Yahya Abdul Mateen pulled up on me like that, and that happened, and like I'd be like, bro, you gotta leave because I can't have you coming on to my girl like that.
Yeah, I mean, you have
Vision would have to kill him. Actually,
you have a bona fide potential superstar.
Yeah, you do.
Now in your stable.
And what's the MCU kind of looking for right now? You're looking for like some absolute star power to a movie level too. Like you put Simon Williams, like Yahya Abdul Mateen, Simon Williams, like that guy can garner some looks. So
yeah, he's also going to be he's also the lead in the Man on Fire reboot.
That's good. That's good stuff. Yahya Abdul Mateen in Star Wars. I see that guy playing a heck of a Sith.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm looking forward to seeing more of that show.
Yeah.
And what is actually going to be, because I think he's great.
Evan Peters is in this show.
Yeah. And Ben Kingsley's in this, yeah.
Remember when Ben Kingsley was playing Gandhi? And he was in Schindler's List? Now he's in Wonder Man on Disney+.
Now he's in Wonder Man. Great.
Hollywood comes at you fast.
Good for him, though.
I guess we're going to kind of end on Ironheart.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is the like the kind of, as far as besides Daredevil, this is the one that is the most, maybe not most anticipated, but it's the most like intriguing.
Sure.
In the sense that there's a lot of moving parts with this show.
Well, I told you what I think my theory was, is that this show is always supposed to have Kang in it. Like, this show is also always supposed to have Jonathan Majors be like the true villain of the show.
That would make sense.
And they had to that's why the show, because they shot this show years ago. Like, this show's been shot for the longest time. Yeah. And it just never came out, and we were like, why? And I think it's
the character hasn't been seen in 3 years.
Right. So I genuinely think it's because Kang was supposed to be like, because Victor Timely was in Loki season 2. Who was it going to be? It was going to be what's his name? It was going to be I forget his CEO version of himself. Who knows? He's got all the variants. What's the funniest variant he could have been to go against Riri Williams?
The Egyptian one.
Oh my god, Rama Tut. Imagine they accidentally mix, because then that informs a whole bunch of stuff. I know we talked about this. Like, the easiest layup was to do if you could do a Mortis in something. You can do, obviously Rama Tut would have been the perfect counter for Moon Knight and all those pantheonic gods of wait, you're not actually using magic. That's technology.
Khonshu was like, hang on a second.
That's not magic.
Mark.
Kick
his ass, Mark.
Right, he's got tech. I can't do
He's
that.
kicking my ass, Khonshu.
He's using my own Moon Knight weapons against me. Now he's Molly weapons.
Khonshu's like, well,
I told you to do it. You didn't.
if you die, Mark, I could just bring you back.
With your other consciousness, because
Yeah.
you have trauma.
Yeah.
That was all Moon Knight was.
That was a fun show. I don't care what anyone says.
They had us in the first half.
I like that show. I like Khonshu. I like what he's about.
Yeah, Khonshu really doesn't play games. That's not his MO.
No, he's just a prick.
He is. He's the worst. He's actually like a jerk. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
his
yeah.
worst. Like, that's the worst.
I know, but that's the best thing about him. He's just unabashedly like a prick.
He's like, he's just a mean guy.
He's like, where's Mark? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get
Wow, fooly. Stupid. And you're like, whoa.
Get lost, Steven. I want Mark. Mark's the actual Moon Knight. Get out of here.
Yeah. You're a figment of his imagination. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
By the way, Jake Lockley's also here.
Yeah.
He's my favorite Moon Knight.
Yeah, because he'll murder anybody I ask him to.
No questions asked.
No, he's the most broken.
Imagine Frank Castle as Moon Knight.
No, dude.
Yo, how come Khonshu didn't look at Frank Castle and be like, there's a man I can work with?
Yeah.
How come every, like, vindictive Marvel spirit doesn't just look at Frank Castle? Like Ghost Rider. Spirit of Vengeance should be like...
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Galactus should come down and be like, listen, at the end of the day, as long as I can give this guy some power cosmic...
The Spirit of Vengeance would love to make Frank Castle Ghost Rider.
No, he wouldn't. He'd be afraid of him. He'd be like, don't you think that's a little too much?
Imagine...
Isn't that a too much vengeance? Is there such thing as too much vengeance in the Spirit of Vengeance?
What were we talking about? Ironheart.
Oh, yeah. Okay, anyway.
Because we were talking about Kang. We got distracted.
Riri Williams.
Yeah. I like her. I like Dominique Thorne a lot.
Oh, she's...
Again, I just don't think she should have been in Black Panther 2.
That was a studio insert.
Of course.
That was a studio insert by far.
And here's this weird subplot.
Like, Namor being like, get me that American scientist from Marvel Comics immediately. I'm like, wait a minute.
It did give us, like, the rawest, like, visceral reaction that I've ever gotten out of a crowd.
Yeah.
That subplot is when Atuma pulls Okoye into the spear, and everyone went, ooh!
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yo, that was crazy.
Those
They were cooking it. How do you watch that movie and you're like, no. I'm like...
That final fight scene is tremendous.
Oh my god.
Between Namor and Shuri. It's great. Channel favorite Anthony Ramos is in this movie.
Yep.
As the Hood.
Twister's legend Anthony Ramos.
I love Anthony
Hamilton's
Ramos.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton's Anthony Ramos.
He's good in everything.
Yeah, he is. I'm a big fan.
Alden Ehrenreich is in this.
And he's not playing Obadiah's son.
No, he's playing Joe McGillicuddy.
Yeah, he's playing Iron Man. He's playing Obadiah's son.
He's playing Iron Man.
Yeah, let him play Iron Man. No,
Sacha Baron Cohen is in this? Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Well, he's gonna be...
Don't say he's playing Mephisto. We're not doing Mephisto talk again. We're not doing this.
Well, what if he is, though? And
Not this time.
And that's who's informing the Hood.
Mephisto?
Yeah. Because isn't this whole show supposed to be science versus... or technology versus...
Magic, yeah.
Magic?
Where's Agatha Harkness? What's she doing?
Why is the Hood the villain of this?
Why not? Who else is he going to be?
Iron Man?
Evil Iron Man.
Oh, Invincible Iron Man from another universe.
Superior Iron Man.
Oh my god, he would have just murdered Riri.
I think that leans more to your Kang point, though, that Kang was supposed to be in this, because he's kind of like a mixture of mysticism and science.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's mostly science.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of mysticism
Whatever
in there.
Thor was yapping about in Thor 1.
You know who Mysterio should have been in this.
Are you saying that because of What If, or are you saying that in general?
In general.
That would have been fun. I mean, I think that's why they did that What If like that, because they are kind of two Tony Stark adjacent counters to each other. Like, one's the evil half of I hate you, and the other one's fangirl I love you, so it kind of works.
Yeah. I think this show could be good, though.
It's a treat. It looks pretty decent, like, look-wise. Like,
It does look pretty decent,
like,
which I was kind of worried about.
It actually looks finished, like, the CGI looks polished.
Don't Iron Man 3 this either? Have her in the suit for most of it?
Sure.
Like, let her just do Ironheart stuff?
Yeah.
Why
not?
They gave her, like, a Iron Man 1 looking suit, right? In this?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, my fear is that it's the same fear I have for Captain America. That, like, hey, can we not forget who the main character of this thing is? Because I know you're trying to do some stuff, but don't forget.
Yeah, like, how much... Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Like, how much Tony Stark is going to be in this?
Right.
Not, like, obviously not the character. Don't. He's not doing it. He didn't come back as Doctor Doom to do Ironheart.
That would be the funniest thing if he did. He actually did do Ironheart.
I'm so passionate about Ironheart, he said. I'll be Doctor Doom, but you got to put me in Ironheart first.
Yeah.
You're like, really? No, he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I fucking love Ironheart.
Now here's a character that's just...
They're like, you don't want to show up in Armor Wars? He's like, nah.
No. Don Cheadle's like... That was my friend, man.
You know who the villain should be?
Don Cheadle?
No. Funnier.
Scroll Don Cheadle?
No. Keep going.
Nick Fury?
Terrence Howard.
Oh my god. Terrence Howard should have played the Hood.
No, Terrence Howard should have played an alternate universe War Machine.
Or maybe Rhodey's the alternate, or maybe Don Cheadle's the alternate universe War Machine.
1 million scrolls, Talos?
I don't know mine. That's my bad, mine.
If that bridge wasn't completely burned, I could see a world where Terrence Howard would be back in the MCU at some point.
Yeah.
But that bridge got burned. Man, that would have been hilarious if he would have came back as Doctor Doom. And sniped it from Robert Downey Jr. Takes off the mask and it's Terrence Howard.
God.
Hall H goes crazy.
Possibly more crazy.
But no, I think Ironheart. I'm looking forward to it. I do wonder how much of the Black Panther stuff is going to be incorporated into the show.
I hope like 1%. Like I hope it's as least as possible because that's, and again to your point, she should have never been in Black Panther.
Yeah, because like
it takes away the punch of like it takes away the Kamala Khan punch that you got out of the first episode of Miss Marvel by
also didn't she give the suit back?
Well, she's gonna make her own suit, but again,
so why would...
Well, that's the point I'm making. It takes away the punch of like Miss Marvel getting her first debut in Miss Marvel. It took away that initial punch, like that charismatic punch you can get it
because like she's just gonna do Ironheart anyway.
But like, I trust Dominic Thor back to be like she's really good, so I feel like she can make up for it as well.
Oh shit, you ain't Maurice, you're the Punisher. You're Ironheart. You're not Iron Man.
No, do the line from Black Panther 2.
Oh shit, you got an Iron Man suit. I love that guy.
Yo, that's the craziest guy in the city.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what's gonna like. Is she gonna like talk about that at all? Has she fought Namor?
Well, she gets kicked out of school, right? That's the thing. She gets expelled. That's like
for doing Black Panther.
Yeah. She got back and they were in her dorm room. Like the dean was in her dorm room, like shaking his head. He's like,
shouldn't have went to Wakanda.
Should have went to Wakanda.
You can Wakanda forever your ass right out of MIT. The dean is returning. The dean's a returning character.
What?
Yeah, from Captain America: Civil War.
That was the dean? I just thought that was a guy.
No, that was the dean of MIT.
That wasn't the dean of MIT. You mean the guy that was in Community?
That was interrupting. That was introduced to Tony Stark.
That wasn't the dean of MIT.
He was overshadowed by Tony Stark's aura.
No, he wasn't the dean of the school.
Yes, he was.
He was just a guy.
No, he was the dean of the school.
Yo, you being the dean of the most prestigious school in America, and then Tony Stark walking by, you're like, hey, I had an idea for a toaster that does... Man!
Imagine Downey does show up. He's not going to.
Well, he could do the little voice hologram thingy.
Isn't that the whole thing about Ironheart, though? Is that he's her Jarvis?
Yes.
So are they gonna do anything with that? Are they gonna do anything with her and Tony?
No. And that, obviously, Riri wasn't a character in 2013. I can't remember when she debuted in comics.
It's 2016.
Yeah, so she wasn't a character in 2013. But obviously Disney Plus wasn't a thing until 2020, so or 2019, 2020. So obviously you couldn't do anything like that yet. So
you know what you could do to tie it into Iron Man though? Like you could make her kind of like a recipient of whatever that scholarship was that Pepper made.
Ah, yeah.
And then I don't know if Gwyneth would show up because she doesn't seem to care.
No, she doesn't even think that's like a real thing. I don't even think she knows the MCU is like running. Like, I don't think she knows that's like.
So like I don't know if like they called her and they're like, hey, do you want to come back as Pepper? And she went, who?
Who's Pepper Potts?
Never heard of that character in my life. Send me a script.
I want to read it.
So like I do wonder if like they would incorporate Pepper as a way of like kind of making her like adjacent to Tony in some way.
I don't think so at all.
I don't think so.
Maybe Happy. Maybe.
When in doubt, yeah. When in doubt, Favreau is always down.
I do like that idea of her being a recipient of the
scholarship.
Yeah.
That would make total sense.
My dead parents' scholarship. My parents are deceased.
So, I mean, fandom-wise, the most anticipated thing here is Daredevil, right?
Easily.
Man, I can't believe we made it all the way here with Daredevil.
We really did. I'm gonna go.
I can't wait to go back.
As soon as I go home, I'm gonna watch more Daredevil.
I can't wait to go back and just chronicle.
Here's the thing: how much
of that show?
How much of a real G are you? Are you gonna just watch Daredevil, or are you gonna watch everything?
Everything what? Like the Defenders stuff?
You got to.
I would love to.
I might just watch Daredevil, but I'll watch the Defenders because he's in it.
It is wild that like what you're saying about the Defenders, how like
no, you made it the best point. Like they're all doing.
They're just all doing their own bits,
but there's no crossover to it.
No, even down to like the color palettes.
Right.
Like when Luke Cage shows up, everything is yellow.
It was all yellow.
And like they start throwing in like the hip hop music and everything, and I'm like, what's going on here?
Man, remember Luke Cage season 2 when Iron Fist shows up, and I said, guys, just look over here for 1 second. Just do that as a show. Is that not?
I can't believe they haven't done anything with that yet.
It's the most insane thing, and it was by far the best Finn Jones had been, by far the best.
Yeah. It was like a totally different person.
That was finally Danny Rand. I was just like, you guys figured it out. He's got... why does the Iron Fist not work for both seasons? It doesn't look like... just let him be Iron Fist. This is crazy. That's like if they made Shang-Chi, they were like, don't get the 10 rings, actually. Even though it's in the name.
Don't do Kung Fu, actually.
Don't do Kung Fu. You're the master of what? Maybe for 5 minutes out of the movie.
That'd be like if Shang-Chi happened and like he forgot how to do martial arts halfway through.
Yeah.
And the whole movie was about him learning to do martial arts again.
Do they have to put the song in the movie?
At the end when he's fighting his dad. That's a totally different movie if that happens.
There's no way I could go on YouTube and see if they put Kung Fu fighting over Shang-Chi, right?
Someone must have.
Let's see. Keep talking about things. I'm gonna find this.
I don't have any more things. We talked about all the things.
We did talk about. We did chronicle that this episode was gonna be a long one.
We talked about every TV show ever made.
You really did. We talked about The Wire somehow this week.
The Wire. Shang-Chi. Remember Shang-Chi? Remember when that movie came out and we were like, wait, this movie's good? And then that character was never seen again.
I found it.
There is one?
Yeah, there is.
I can't wait to watch it after we finish. But yeah, is that like one of Marvel's greatest failures?
Of the multiversal saga, yeah, like the one movie that felt like a phase 1 movie that was like, and I hear all this stuff, and like the Captain America promos are like, we can't wait to get back to the old way, like the
yeah.
old Marvel. I'm like, no, Shang-Chi actually felt like the old Marvel feel, like that literally actually felt like it.
Yeah, it was like a proper origin movie, and then we just never saw that character again.
The action was so great, it was tight, and I kept making the point, and I'll still hold by it. Like it has one of the most forgivable big CGI battle. Monster, whatever thing, like it's the most forgivable one.
One of the best antagonists.
Oh, Wenwu was phenomenal. Tony Leung was he was cooking in this movie. Simu Liu himself was good. Aquafina was good in this, but like
somehow,
why don't you keep Michelle Yeoh's good in this? Keep going. Don't do more.
Yeah, it's so crazy that character just vanished. He joined the Avengers at the end of the movie.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like this was one of the easiest layups where you just... Unless
Captain America 4 ends and there's a post-credit scene with all the Avengers and he's there.
Makes sense. And then the Thunderbolts is like... Ross is like, I hate those Avengers. You all are the Avengers now. And they're like, oh, all right.
One Avenger, this Captain America is black, another guy's Chinese. Get these Avengers out of my face.
Not my Avengers. Hashtag not my Avengers.
Get me John Walker.
One of them's a She-Hulk. Not my Avengers. Hashtag not my Avengers.
One of them's just a woman.
This stinks. I hate these Avengers, says Thaddeus Ross. I hate these Avengers.
Get me John Walker's stat.
Wait, sir, she's a Russian I don't care.
I care. You had me at Russian.
You had me at Russian.
I'm in.
She's an Avenger now.
She's an Avenger. She's not a She-Hulk.
She's not a woke Hulk. That's what whatever Avengers 5, that's part of the storyline actually. When Sam's going to do his Avengers thing, they're the woke Avengers actually.
Woke Avengers.
Oh man, what if they made Doctor Doom a bigot, and that's the whole sell of the whole
No,
thing?
Doctor Doom is staunchly anti-bigotry. Didn't you watch X-Men 97?
Yo, that was crazy. Bastion was laying out the plan, and Doctor Doom's like, "Nah, dude, this is crazy. I can't do
What
this."
if we killed all the mutants? And
Whoa,
Doctor Doom was like,
yo, he's like, "Nah, dog, that's messed up."
you
You know how evil you have to be for Doctor Doom to be like, "Yo, that's messed up."
I
bro.
only want to kill Reed Richards, specifically Reed Richards. That's
He said,
because
does your plan have a plan to kill the Fantastic Four? Bastion said, not specifically. He said, I'm out.
I'm out.
This sucks.
Why am I even here then?
This is stupid.
This is
I
dumb.
want to kill my college rival, Reed Richards.
Yeah. If you don't have a plan in here that can kill a stretchy guy, I'm out.
Freeze him? Yo, I'm not going to lie. He's cooking in that original Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, we have to talk about those movies soon.
Those movies aren't as bad as everybody
I
says they
haven't
are.
watched those movies in years.
I watched them at the end of... I watched them in like October, I think.
It's been legit years since I've seen that movie.
I'm not going to... They are not as bad as everybody
Although I
wants to
did
think.
see a clip the other day on TikTok of... I forget. I think it might have been the second... Oh, yeah, it was the second one, because it's when Reed stands up to the army general guy, and he's like...
Oh, to, what's his name that passed away?
Yeah. Don't talk to my team like that. And I'm like, he was kind of a good Reed Richards. I'm not going to lie.
He was like, he had that little bit of, he had a dash of coldness.
It should have been him in Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I love John Krasinski, but...
I'm still cool. I still have a feeling that he's going to show up in First Steps. Like, yes. I think they're good. Like, if you can find a way to somehow convince Miles Teller to come back, that would be an insane council of Reeds to have Yoan Griffin, John Krasinski, Miles Teller, and Pedro Pascal. Like, everybody would lose it if
it's
that
John
happened.
Krasinski, but he's just spaghetti.
No, man, he's failing. It's Earth 839 this time. They just moved one Earth over. And it's still John Krasinski.
Aha, you're a Reed Richards that wasn't emasculated by the Scarlet Witch.
No.
I knew better.
Yeah. I told Black Bolt, shut up for... I told Black Bolt, just scream as soon as she walks in the room. We all have earplugs. We're good. Just start yelling.
As soon as you see her.
Yeah, as soon as you see her, scream as loud as you can.
We're not taking any chances.
That was actually the smartest man alive.
Well, we can handle your little dream walking witch. Can you, Captain Marvel? The smartest man alive, Reed Richards. Where is he? Is he behind that guy?
Who's he?
Is he behind that Reed Richards? Doctor Strange really fried that whole group.
Yeah, he did. He was cooking them because they suck.
Carl?
Wait, didn't you guys chart in the 60s?
Whew. Yikes. Burn. Cooked. Professor X from off screen. Ouch. Couldn't be me getting fried like that. And then he did get fried. He got his head.
Talking about Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
Why did we talk about Shang-Chi? Because we were talking about Daredevil? Because we were talking about Iron Fist.
Yes.
Anyway, Daredevil's the most anticipated movie or show of this year.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. All right. Good tangent. That's it. But that's going to do it for us this week. You can follow us on Twitter at ProjectINF_pod. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on TikTok.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't follow us on TikTok
For 14 hours.
For about 14 hours. But we're back.
Yep.
You can follow us on TikTok again. It's fine. You can follow us on Instagram.
At the Project Infinite Pod.
Next week, we didn't decide what we're doing yet.
What if?
What if?
This is where we get Jeffrey Wright as our guest star.
He's going to be in Fantastic Four, apparently?
Yeah, I've told you, they're going to do the thing from Fantastic Four whatever, where he points up, he's like, whoa!
I hope he does the thing that he did in What If Season 1, like when Galactus shows up and he goes, huh!
No, he does that when he sees the thing. He said, come on, man. Aren't you a giant-headed being from outer space and you think I'm scary?
Remember when X-Men 97 through the Watcher in there?
They did.
In the Genosha episode?
Yeah, they did. Watcher's like, man, this party's kind of cool, man.
I ain't gonna do nothing. I ain't gonna do nothing about this.
Whoa. Watcher a bigot, question mark? He didn't do anything about that? That was the one where he's like, I can let this rock.
I'll help
I love how in the season 3 finale of What If, they were just like, he keeps interfering, but X-Men 97, the Mutant Massacre, he's like, you know what? I can watch this one from the side. He actually could have done something. And he's like, not that big a deal.
I'm not only gonna watch, I'm gonna actively let Cable try to undo it 5 million times
and not do anything about it. The Watcher canceled, question mark?
Actually, I'm gonna let Cable get a little closer each time and then just yoink him back.
Maybe the Watcher's a bad guy.
He's not great.
No, he keeps interfering on the wrong things.
I have to save Captain Carter. Why?
Captain America gets to die every time, but Captain Carter's the one that you need? You let the Earth explode because the Celestial was born, jerk! What are you talking about?
Oh, we're almost at the point where we're gonna make the Eternals relevant again. With that big Celestial in the ocean.
That turned into adamantium of all substances. What if she turned it into, like... What's the funniest substance she could have turned it into?
Rubber.
Iron?
Iron Man somewhere.
Oh, shoot. You got a whole island of it, man. This is awesome.
Oh, shit.
Terrence Howard's Iron Man.
Oh, shit. He got an Iron Man suit on.
Oh, my gosh.
You think Arisham's going to come back in Captain America 4?
Oh, he confronts Sam, and Sam's like, I can't...
You want me?
You want me?
Come and get me!
No, that's... Sam, that's Arisham.
That's Arisham the Judge.
Yeah, he's an actual, like, big G, G-O-D. I don't know if you can handle all that. Somehow with the vibranium suit, he figures it out.
He just punches Arishem.
One splash page of him knocking out Arishem. I love comics.
Oh man, I answered your question from before when you said what's the craziest character that they could put in Captain America 4? It's Arishem.
Shows back up. And they have a fight, like they do a proper fight at the end.
I've come to collect.
Sam's like suit turns into a space suit. I got this, y'all.
Him and Red Hulk team up to fight Arishem.
No! Red Hulk like carries him and throws him into the atmosphere.
Oh, fastball special.
Runs right through Arishem with the wings. This is why they don't let us write in Hollywood. Because we would have the most bombastic movies ever.
That's the secret they're hiding. Remember I keep telling you the Cat 4 has a big secret?
Uh-huh.
It's
not whole. It's
Arishem.
Arishem showing up would be nuts.
It's Arishem coming to
We should keep playing this game. I like this bit. Like, whenever we talk about something, we're like, what's the craziest character from the universe that could show up?
My answer is going to be Arishem every time.
No, it's not. Arishem would plausibly be funny in Fantastic Four, because then him and Galactus would be like, if it isn't my old pal.
Bigger Galactus.
Bigger Galactus. They throw hands.
It's like a big slow, like they're throwing planets at each other. Like billions of people are dying.
No. Reed shows up with the ultimate nullifier. He's like, stop. Let's cut it out.
Arishem just picks up Arishem just hits Galactus over the head with Mars.
Imagine Reed has the ultimate nullifier.
I'll do it.
Don't do it. Arishem's like, no.
Didn't the Watcher give Reed the ultimate nullifier?
I think.
Or he didn't.
No, Reed built it. He
didn't give it to him, but he like.
Didn't he coerce him?
No.
He inspired him to make it.
He did what the Watcher does. He was like. Reed Richards was like, how do I stop Galactus? And the Watcher's like...
With a pushpin.
I could give you the ultimate nullifier. And Reed is like, can you? And the Watcher's like, no, I can't interfere. But, like, if I turn my back and you took the ultimate nullifier, like, that would be okay. And Reed's like, I'm going to do that then. And he just took the ultimate nullifier. And...
Yo, is he the dumbest... smart person ever?
Reed Richards?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you watch Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah, he is kind of stupid.
Wanda, I'm a dad. And? Do your children have a mother? Reed's like, yeah. And Wanda's like...
Well, you're dead.
That's probably like one of the coldest lines ever uttered. At least they'll have someone around to raise them. Get out of there, Reed Richards!
You got it. I'm not gonna lie, man. You gotta go.
And then Mordo was like, Doctor Strange... Wait till my friends get back, and we're gonna throw you in jail. And Doctor Strange is like, your friends are getting massacred out there, pal.
Why aren't you helping them? Why are you fighting me? Like, you should help.
Wanda, enough! Shut up, Professor X.
Yo, they really did put Patrick Stewart in that movie. That was crazy. Then he showed up at the premiere. He's like, am I in the... Yeah, you're in the movie, buddy. Why are you here? Remember when Beast was in the Marvels?
Yes. Yes, I do.
No, Kelsey Grammer would be the funniest character to show up in Captain America 4. That would be hilarious.
Beast? Funnier than Arishem?
No, Arishem showing up in an X-Men movie would be much... No, Beast showing up in the Eternals would have been funny. Oh, dear. No, Arishem would have shown up. Oh, dear.
Alright.
Dog, Arishem and Cap 4 is going to go insane. But just the fact that Anthony Mackie's going to attempt to fight him is going to be crazy.
That's the bait and switch of the trailer when he's like, you want me, come and get me. He's not talking to Red Hulk.
It was Arishem.
He's talking to Arishem the Judge.
It's just the look up that's gonna kill me. He's gonna look up because his head's the size of like 18 planets put together.
I can see it now. Falcon's like, Cap, we have a problem.
And the Red Hulk's like...
He looks up.
The Red Hulk's like... He's like, the sun's getting real low.
Red Hulk's like, he's standing right behind me, isn't he? He's standing behind all of us. He's
the size of multiple planets.
He's humongous. I don't even know if I finished reading the socials before we got off on that tangent.
They know him, man.
Yeah, they know him by now.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
TikTok.
It's everywhere.
Next week, maybe we will talk about What If next week.
But what if we don't?
What if?
What if?
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next week for something. Who knows? From me,
the Watcher knows.
The Watcher, does he? From me, from the.
Careful, man.
I'm probably gonna go Daredevil adjacent here.
You don't have to. You could call me Riri Williams.
No, I'm not gonna do that. The Cassian Andor of the podcast.
But he's kind of a jerk.
No, he's not. He's great.
He's not great.
He's pretty good.
He's not pretty good. He's kind of a piece of crap.
No. He turned it around.
But like, not completely.
No, but that's fine. He's a hero in the end. Remember he made that big heroic sacrifice?
When the planet blew up?
When he got vaporized by the Death Star?
Ben Mendelsohn's credit is the greatest. Remember when they blew up the one planet? He's like, oh, it's beautiful. This guy, I love his irrational confidence when he goes to meet Vader. He's just like, and he's like, you could tell he was practicing in the mirror before he walked in. He's like, direct to credit. He's like, oh, Lord Vader. Interesting.
The goat.
The goat. My goat.
My goat. And Darth Vader was like,
What's up, Darth V? My man.
He did not just call me Darth V. Be careful not to choke on your aspirations. That's how you know that was Anakin too, because he's just so dramatic.
Yeah, he is.
For no reason.
But he can't help it.
He can't help it. All right, let's get out of here. Yeah, we'll see you next week for maybe we'll just talk about What If.
What if we talk about What If?
What if? Oh man, what if that show was better?
What if that show talked about characters that I cared about more?
Arishem was in What If.
He was getting pieced up by Agatha. That was crazy.
And you tell me, yeah, and he's gonna get pieced up by Sam next.
I can see it now. Red Hulk launches him into space. Right through Arishem's chest.
Arishem just falls in slow motion.
No, he throws he throws Captain America so fast that he gets transported to a new universe, and he gets laid in the same Bex right next to Monica Rambeau, and Beast is just like, why does this keep happening?
Why does this keep happening? All right, we're out of here. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Peace.